All right, so next up, I have to thank Sam from Blue Water Digital for joining us and for presenting. Now, Sam is one of Australia's founding Google partners and multiple specialist award winner. He and his company, Blue Water Digital, are Google experts and help businesses get their businesses found online, either through AdWords or other organic searches. So I'd like to welcome Sam. Take it away.
Thanks, Anil. Like Anil said, yeah, I'm one of Australia's founding Google partners and multiple specialist award winner through the Google Partner Program. So what we do is we help small businesses advertise online using Google Ads, formerly Google AdWords, and help improve all the results by looking at and developing the overall digital marketing strategy. So today, hopefully all this all works nicely. What I want to talk to you about today is actually a concept called micro moments, rather than delve into the technical details of Google Ads, because it's too late in the afternoon for that sort of thing. So what I'm hoping through the course of this presentation is that you can start to identify these micro moments for your business. And these also work hand in hand with Nicole's awesome presentation and your social media strategy. So let's dive in and have a look. Okay, so the evolution of the work desk has changed a lot over the last couple of decades. Information is readily available at our fingertips now, and everything is now integrated pretty much into our smartphones. Our phones are no longer just phones. We use them obviously for phone calls and messaging, but we now also do all our emails, social media, news, our reading, our audiobooks, pretty much everything we can do on our smartphones now. And because of this, the way we access information has completely changed. So we no longer go online, and we haven't for a while now. We live online. We're always connected and everything's always there. Mobiles has really changed everything there. It has enabled us to always be on, and it's changed how we react and how we act to things. So whereas we would never walk into a store without our wallets, 82% of us now also wouldn't walk into a store without a smartphone, possibly a higher number than that. This is fundamentally different from how it was 5-10 years ago. So we don't wait to go home, sit on a chair, switch on the desktop computer to start looking things up. We pull out the nearest device that's to us, which is generally our smartphone now. Mobile has really raised the bar and our expectations for immediate results and response. Believe it or not, people look at their smartphones on average 150 times a day or more. It's hard to believe that we have enough time in the day to actually do that. A lot of the things you're seeing on the screen here are what they consider to be micro moments. So buying the tote bag for next weekend is a moment. Checking the weather is, using maps to find a local restaurant or local shop, checking your bus timetables, and everything on there is considered to be a micro moment. But to introduce a little bit better what a micro moment is, and I hope this works, here's a little video to to explain what a micro moment is. Does it work? And people ask us all the time, how do I get into work? Okay, so let's define what a micro moment is. It's a moment where we reflexively turn to a device and act on a need we have in that moment to learn, discover, find, or buy something. The searches are very intent rich, whereas we have a question or a problem that we're trying to solve within that moment. So Google is very fascinated by the idea of micro moments, and they've done a lot of research, and these statistics here come from some of their internal data. There's a few trends that they've found that have been quite interesting. Some of these statistics are a little bit old, but they're still quite relevant. So they've seen a 20% increase in mobile search traffic and 18% decrease in time, which is because mobile people typically use their devices for less time. But yet, there has been nearly a 30% increase in conversion rates and people actually buying things and completing transactions using mobile devices. So another example of a micro moment, this is Neil from Chippendale, who has a story about a brand new MacBook and some rain. I hope you guys can hear that. Could you hear the last video okay?
Yeah, it's all good, Sam.
Perfect.
All good.
Cool.
What's happened is that while I was walking from lunch over to my lecture theatre, a bit of water seeped through my bag and it just got on top of my Mac.
So you just had lunch, it's raining hard.
Yep.
What happens next?
So I'm in my lecture theatre and I'm just worried about like the well-being of my Mac. Just bought it, it's my baby, I really need to take care of it. So literally just grabbed my phone and I was just sitting under the table, just looking it up while still looking at the lecturer himself. I typed in cover for MacBook Pro 13-inch. I found a good one on JB Hi-Fi called, it's by the company called Tool, T-H-U-L-E, who make really nice covers for Macs especially.
It seemed like you were really in the moment there. I mean, you were triggered into action by the rain, and did you ever think about making the transaction then and there?
When you think about buying online, you've got to think about delivery as well. I needed this straight away, and as soon as the lecture finished, I waited for a little dry spot in the rain for me to dash my way all the way to JB Hi-Fi. So it was pretty much straight away.
Action man.
Action man.
So Neil's story, his story was he didn't actually plan on buying a laptop cover on that day until the rain came down, and he'd never heard of the brand Thule or Thule, however you want to pronounce it. However, he gave a very strong search intent of what he was looking for when he searched, and no doubt what he would have found is an actual Google ad, Google shopping ad from JB Hi-Fi, with the product image and a lot of reviews and things like that to back up what the product was. This statistic here on the left, I actually think it's more to do with everybody, not just millennials. More than 50% of millennials have discovered and bought a brand they've had little knowledge of before previously searching on their smartphones. And that comes back to what I was just saying. When they do a search, they find the reviews, they trust what they find online there, and then go and make the purchase. And this is typically happening a lot more from mobile devices now.
I know, Sam, that I absolutely do this. As soon as I think of something, I'll be on my phone and search for it, either if I want information immediately or if I want to buy something or search for somewhere. I rely on Google reviews, a lot. Yeah.
Well, not only Google reviews, Facebook reviews, and Nikki will back that up too. Facebook reviews are very, very well regarded as well, especially if a friend of yours has given a Facebook review, then that's a much warmer lead than it is just being a generic person out there on the internet.
Yep.
So introduce you to Dee from Chatswood. So Dee's story is a little bit different. She's planning a family safari for her 60th birthday, but I'll let her explain.
Hi, Dee Pierce here. I thought I should tell you about start of the search. I am wanting to organise a safari for my family to celebrate my 60th birthday.
Okay, so Dee, you've been planning a safari. Tell us about how that process began.
Well, it's actually been, the process has been going for about 3 months, really. I needed to know whether the airfares did a major jump any time from December or January. So I started searching to see if that was the case. So I Googled, airfares, Sydney, Lusaka. I looked at Webjet and Skyscanner. Predictably, the time around second half of December and first half of January is the most expensive.
Okay, so you started the search on the phone and then it migrated to the computer for a bit more depth and detail.
Yes, and just ease of navigation on a larger screen. But I found out the initial answer on my phone. When I get the go-ahead with timing, I'll go back to those sites, start booking camps and start booking airfares. I spend a huge amount of time organising any holiday that we have. It's organised to within an inch of its life.
Sounds like you probably wouldn't even need to go on the trip.
Probably don't even need to go. That'd save a fortune, wouldn't it? My husband would be happy.
Oh, sorry to say, Dee, you can't go anywhere at the moment. The takeaway from Dee's story here is that about 81% of people actually start an activity on their smartphone or another device and then go on and finish it off on another device. So what Dee's done here is she's done her initial search on the mobile and then found that the screen was too small or the website was too hard to use. So she's waited until she's got home to go and actually look it up on a bigger screen. The biggest issue that we've got here is that a lot of people forget what they were doing and where they were looking, and they actually start the whole search journey all over again, which is where the remarketing function within Google Ads and Facebook Ads can help you out. It's just that little reminder that comes up. We've all had it happen, and we all understand the remarketing, the way us digital marketers follow you guys around on the internet. So the takeaway from this is to make sure that
on that one, it's so she's looked up for travel sites, and then and we've all experienced this. Then we're reading the news online, and then an ad for that, whether it's Webjet or whoever that she's been to visit pops up while we're reading the news. So that's remarketing.
That's an example of remarketing. Yeah, perfect. And you'll see it across Facebook and basically every site you go to online these days. So the takeaway from that is to make sure that your ads and your websites and everything else works well on all devices and not just mobile or not just on desktop. So consumers want what they want and they want it when they want it. So it's important to deliver that first impression perfectly on every device. We don't often obviously look at our own websites. Well, I don't anyway. I mean, I actually got caught out with this myself until Anil actually picked up that my website wasn't working as well as it should be on mobile devices, and that was due to an update. So I encourage everybody to go and just check out your website on every device and just make sure it's all working well. So there's 4 main moments that everybody fits into. They start with the I want to know moments. This is mainly when people are looking for information. So according to this statistic, 95% of people will turn to their smartphone immediately for information, ideas, or advice. That happens quite frequently. You think of something, pull your phone out, do a search. The second statistic there, I believe, is incorrect. I think it's old, but it says 57% of smartphone users turn to their phones with a digital conversation that they're having. Now, I reckon that's closer to 80% these days. When you're standing around at barbecues and whatnot, talking to somebody about a particular thing, the phones commonly come out and a search occurs. Okay, the second moment is the I want to go, which is the destination thing. I want to go somewhere, and there's been a major increase in the near me search interest. So that could be, restaurants near me, plumbers near me, landscapers near me, etc. And that's quite big. The other thing from that, just going off that, is that voice search is also becoming huge, and it's introducing a lot more different search terms as well. The third one is the I want to do moments. These relate a lot to the sort of how-to videos on YouTube and things along those lines. how to fix things, how to do all the various bits and pieces. And the final one is the transactional ones, the I want to buy moments. So 68% of us, and I believe that this is actually higher these days too, have actually walked into a store knowing exactly what we want to buy before we've walked into that store, which sort of renders the retail staff a little bit useless these days. Google actually calls this the ZMOT, which stands for the zero moment of truth. It's an interesting read if you get 5 minutes. And 37% of us have reported making a purchase in the kitchen. I'd like to see the statistics on how many people have actually impulse purchased something in bed as well. I know I've done that. So these moments may seem pretty small and almost mundane, but that's kind of just the point. Your biggest opportunities come in the smallest moments of time. So what we want to be able to do is identify what your clients' moments are. What are they going through when they're, when you can potentially help them. But the good news is we already have all the tools to win. Within your own business, you're the best positioned to not only understand these new consumer behaviours, but to act on it as well. So what we need to do is focus on 3 different things: identifying the micro moments, delivering on the consumer's need within that moment, and then measuring the moments that matter. So we need to be there for the customers, anticipate what the micro moments are, and have a think about what those moments might be. Be useful, so to give them the relevant information that they're looking for in that moment and really connect with them. So we want to join that conversation that they're already having in their heads. We want to be quick, so everything needs to be responsive, load fast, and deliver them to what they're looking for as soon as possible. And connecting the dots, we need to make sure that our marketing strategy, social media strategy, and the rest of it are all on the same page as the consumer's micro moment. So over to you. I want you guys to sort of think about what your customers' micro moments are and how you may be able to better connect with them when they're having that sort of thought. And while you're at it, check to see what devices do you think they're using in that moment, and have a look at your website. Just go over your website and just make sure that everything is working perfectly and as well as possibly can within on all the different devices. And then think about what sort of moments they are, whether they're the I want to do, I want to go, I want to know, or the I want to buy type moments. You may need to tweak some of your advertising, some of your wordings on your website to line up a little bit better with those moments. And then, is your digital marketing, social media, and websites ready to help in these moments? How well optimized are you to help your customers when they need you most? So what's something that you can take away today? What's a little change you can make, today or tomorrow to start sort of pushing this forward? That's all I got. So yeah.
Excellent, Sam. Thank you. Now I think you and Nicole are going to stay on. Now you didn't really talk much about the services that you provide, and I suppose it's a bit like Nicole in that you've got services that help people be found organically and also through Google Ads.
Yeah.
Either way, once again, it comes down to what sort of things people, our clients, customers are searching for, and then whether that's fits into a content blog type of strategy or whether it's AdWords and so on.
Yeah, so I'm a Google specialist, as you know. I look after mainly managing Google ad campaigns and the remarketing campaigns and all the rest that go with it. But we also do the social, not social, we don't do social, that's Nicole. We do, we do search engine optimization, SEO work as well. So pretty much anything to do with Google is what we do.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Sam.